50%. Just take a second to let that sink in. 50%. That's the average case fatality rate of Ebola, according to the World Health Organization. Basically, historically speaking, half the people who get this virus don't make it. It's a massive, chilling number, right? And it instantly tells us exactly what the stakes are here and why Ebola is still literally one of the most terrifying infectious threats on the planet. Right now, we're looking at some incredibly urgent health reports from mid-May 2026. A brand new outbreak has just flared up, and health authorities, they are scrambling. So in today's Explainer, we're going to break down the reality on the ground, dive into the science of the virus itself, and crucially, uncover the massive twist that's making this specific 2026 outbreak such a huge global headache. Okay, let's start with Section 1, the May 2026 outbreak, Ground Zero. So right now, all eyes are on the Democratic Republic of the Congo, specifically a place called the Ituri province. Now, you might be wondering, why is this specific location setting off alarm bells? Well, it's all about the geography. This area sees a ton of cross-border movement. People are constantly coming and going. You mix that high mobility with the kind of delayed detection we unfortunately often see in vulnerable areas, and bam, the risk of the virus jumping borders literally skyrockets. It's the perfect storm for a pathogen to spread before we even realize it's crashed the party. Moving on to Section 2, what is Ebola? Just the basics. So Ebola disease is a viral illness caused by the ortho-ebolavirus group. It's actually pretty rare in the grand scheme of things, but as we know, it is exceptionally severe. And it doesn't just hit us, it affects other primates too. But because of that 50% fatality rate we talked about, its rarity doesn't really offer much comfort, you know? Even the smallest outbreak instantly triggers a massive all-hands-on-deck public health emergency. Now, this timeline here is key to understanding how the virus basically hides in plain sight. The incubation window spans anywhere from 2 to 21 days, meaning someone could be exposed and walk around for up to 3 weeks feeling absolutely fine. No signs at all. Usually, though, symptoms kick in around days 8 to 10, and when they do, they're super deceptive. We're talking fever, fatigue, a headache, sore throat. It basically mimics a dozen other everyday bugs. But then, as the days tick by, it escalates brutally into vomiting, severe abdominal pain, and in some of the most terrifying cases, unexplained bleeding. So how does it actually jump from host to host? Well, it's all about direct contact. We're talking contact with the blood or body fluids of an infected person, whether they're actively sick or, sadly, if they've passed away. It can also hitch a ride on contaminated stuff like bedding or clothes, or jump from infected animals. But here's some good news, actually. Ebola is not like a cold or the flu. It's not respiratory. You're not going to catch it just by sitting next to someone on a bus before they're showing symptoms. But once those symptoms do start, the risk to family members and healthcare workers goes through the roof. Which brings us to Section 3, the Bundibugyo complication. This is a crucial difference. This right here is the whole reason this outbreak is making international headlines. It's the climax of the story. You see, when we hear the word Ebola, we tend to think it's just one single monolithic virus. It's not. There are actually 3 main viruses responsible for the big human outbreaks. There's the Zaire strain, the Sudan virus, and the Bundibugyo virus. And when the World Health Organization rushed to the DRC to test lab samples for this new outbreak, they confirmed they are dealing specifically with the Bundibugyo species. And honestly, that one confirmation changes the entire game. Here's why. Take a look at this comparison. On the left, you've got the Zaire strain. Over the years, science has made amazing progress there. We actually have approved vaccines and monoclonal antibody treatments for it now, real medical shields. But look at the right side, the Bundibugyo strain. For this one, we have absolutely 0 approved vaccines or treatments. None. So all those amazing medical tools we've relied on recently, they're essentially useless here. We are going into battle against a lethal virus without our best biochemical armor. It's a massive complication. So Section 4, stopping the spread, the public health response. How on earth do you fight a strain like Bundibugyo when you don't have a magic bullet? Well, you have to go old school. It requires an incredibly fast, highly coordinated, boots-on-the-ground response. Step 1 is early identification. We have to find cases fast. Step 2, immediately isolate those patients and give them supportive care while waiting on strict lab confirmations. Step 3 is the grueling one: relentless contact tracing, finding every single person the patient interacted with. And finally, Step 4, safe, dignified burials. Because remember, the virus is still highly contagious even after death. This is how you build a physical wall around the virus. But here's the reality check. You can have the best clinical protocols in the world, but they mean nothing without community engagement. Clear communication is literally the backbone of stopping an outbreak. Think about it. You can't identify cases early or trace contacts if people are terrified of the doctors. It all runs on trust. The community has to understand what's happening and actually feel safe stepping forward. Because without the community on board, the virus wins every single time. And that brings us to Section 5, a global wake-up call, looking ahead. Let's zoom out for a second. The official health reports from May 2026 stated this perfectly. They called the outbreak, quote, a serious reminder that infectious disease threats remain a major global and regional concern. And they're spot on. This isn't just an isolated tragedy in the DRC. It's a giant warning sign for all of us. Global preparedness is fragile, especially in places dealing with weak health infrastructure or, as we mentioned, heavy border traffic. It's a blaring alarm telling us we need stronger surveillance and sustained, serious investment in public health everywhere. Which leaves us with a pretty terrifying question to chew on. When a virus with a 50% fatality rate can just pop up as a strain we literally have no vaccines for, in an area where people are constantly crossing borders, are our global health systems really prepared for the next big emergency? It's a tough question, but understanding the real-world mechanics of something like the Bundibugyo outbreak is the very first step toward fixing the gaps. I highly recommend diving deeper into global health security because, honestly, our interconnected world relies on it. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and stay curious.
Please like, share, and subscribe to Master Sense by Faraday, and turn on notifications so you don't miss new and upcoming videos. Drop a comment below and tell us what you'd like to see next.